Ford's Focus RS has finally landed in Australia, and it's got a lot of people really excited. This Focus is easily the most ferocious car to ever join the famed RS ranks. RS is short for Rally Sport, and it dates right back to the Mark One Escort. And some of the most driver-centric Fords of all time have worn that famous blue and white badge. On paper, the Focus already packs a massive right hook. It only costs about $51,000. The all-wheel drive system that you'll find underneath the RS, it's kind of similar to what you might find underneath a Range Rover Evoque. There's no limited slip diff at the rear. Instead, the RS uses a pair of clutch packs to give the rear wheels torque vectoring. This is what makes the drift mode possible, and it gives the RS driver the chance to feel like Gymkhana star Ken Block, even if it's just for a little while. In fact, Ken actually helped to develop the RS. And it feels pretty damn cool to do it as well, although I'm glad I'm not paying for the tyres. You'll easily burn up a couple of grand in a couple of minutes if you keep this up. Combine that tricky drivetrain with super sticky Michelin tyres, lowered and stiffened suspension, and a set of seriously big brakes, and the RS looks pretty sharp. But it's the engine that ties this whole package together. This is the same 2.3 litre 4-cylinder turbocharged engine that you'll find under the bonnet of the base Mustang. The cylinder head is from Cosworth, the airbox is race spec, even the exhaust is almost straight through to the back of the car. Just speaking of the exhaust, it's not exactly what you'd call civilised, but in a really, really good way. The result? A class-hammering 257 kilowatts of power and an astonishing 440 newton meters of torque. VW Golf R? Nope. Subaru WRX STI? Not even close. Only the Mercedes AMG A45 and Audi's RS3 make more power, and they're both a heck of a lot more expensive than the Focus. It's inside the cabin where the price of the RS becomes a little more obvious. Sure, those big winged race seats suit the RS right down to the ground, but there's not a lot of extra stuff going on in here. In fact, it's not all that much different to the Focus ST, and that's $11,000 cheaper. But thankfully, there's a great way to distract yourself from any shortcomings inside the cabin. We've seen the RS in Australia before, and it was in 5-cylinder front drive form, and it was super fast as well, but maybe a little uncouth. The new RS though, it's simply amazing. It's astonishing everywhere you go as well. The engine is so strong and supple, its mid-corner speed defies belief. Its brakes are so strong and confidence-inspiring. It's just an incredible car to drive at any kind of pace. In the real world, it's a slightly different picture. The turning circle on the RS is absolutely massive, and that same suspension tune that feels so right at speed is way too overdone in its firmest setting. It's also lacking pretty much every electronic safety aid developed this decade, other than traction and stability control. Ford does give you the MyKey system with the RS, which does allow you to lock on traction control and lock out track mode for younger drivers. And there's another problem with the RS, at least initially. You're going to have to wait at least 6 months to get a hold of one. Ford Australia says that the first 500 have been snapped up, and it'll take a while for more to arrive. The RS is a semi-permanent addition to the Ford lineup though, so more will filter through, eventually. The Focus RS is truly one of the performance buys of the year. In fact, it could be one of the performance buys of this decade so far. It's blazingly fast, the handling moves on another notch, and it costs so much less than it really should. If you can handle the firmish ride, and if you can maybe budget for a couple of extra sets of tyres, the RS really is a must-drive car. And to read the full review, you can click on the link right here.